Right, hello and welcome to the Prefect Podcast. I'm Nick Fawcett, headmaster here at Sherborne Qtara Prep, and with me are our co-hosts Claudia and Diti, our heads of school. So this is our Pupil Voice Podcast, where Diti, Claudia and I will be looking under the surface of Sherborne Qtara Prep School. We'll be speaking to special guests, as well as talking through a variety of topics and themes relevant for all our Sherborne family. When we can't bring all our community into school, we want to bring our school to our community. Okay, before we get going, I'd like to take a moment to thank Sheikh Abdullah Ahmed Al Thani, our owner, and Sheikh Ramal Jassim Al Thani, our managing director, for their vision and continued support in bringing Sherborne to Qatar. I would also like to mention the ongoing support the school receives from Sharaka Holdings and of course the Ministry of Education, who are both helping us to realise our mission of well-educated, well-rounded pupils who achieve their potential in a happy and nurturing school, which is part of Qatar's 2030 vision. So in today's episode, our first ever of the pod, we'll be getting to know our heads of school a little bit better. For example, what motivates them, what frustrates them, how they've dealt with lockdown and now blended learning, as well as their aspirations for the future. So let's get on with it. So here we are in our very first podcast. Welcome along. We'll be getting to know our heads of school a little bit better as we go through today's programme. What motivates them, what frustrates them, how they've dealt with lockdown and now obviously blended learning, and as well as their aspirations for the future. So girls, ready to get going?
Yeah.
Amazing, here we go. So, first topic area I want to talk to you about is hobbies and interests. Okay, so putting the current situation on one side, what are you suppose looking forward to getting back to most? So, Diti, we'll start with you. Hobbies and interests, talk to me what you enjoy, maybe after school, maybe at the weekends, maybe in the holidays, that sort of thing.
So I like the weekends and probably the weekdays too. I enjoy swimming with my friends and playing Lego and roller skating.
What else? Anything else? What about holiday times? Is there anything that you look forward to doing?
Holiday times, I always like to go visit my family in India, or visit my friends in London, or visit my family in Dublin.
Okay, so travel around a bit. And I know that you enjoy your Lego, yeah? So have you got lots of sets? How does it work for you?
So when I was little, I got this big jumbo box of Lego. Then from that point onwards, I've literally been craving Lego every birthday. I got one set every year. So now you can imagine how much Lego that's totaled up to.
I can imagine the size of your bedroom as well. Gosh, there must be no space in it.
No, I actually play, not in my bedroom. And there's a closet in my bedroom. That's where I store my best Lego sets. But downstairs is where I make them.
Ah, clever. So you've kept your own space. Good thinking. What about you, Claudia? Talk to us about what you like to do out of school.
Well, I actually like going to the beach on weekends because I have my own boat now and I've had it for about 2 years. So I enjoy going out to an island and I enjoy just relaxing, playing in the water, and then sometimes I go seashell hunting and you can actually find some really nice different coloured ones. But if I don't go to the beach, I try and go to the pool. But obviously with the COVID, we can't go anymore, especially in my compound. It's quite strict. And I also enjoy doing drawing, especially on school days, after school on the home days. I think it's quite fun. If I have nothing to do, I just get a paper and pencil and I just try and sketch something to make my boredom go away because I don't want to be on my laptop the whole time.
Nice. That's great. Diti, do you like the beach?
Yes.
Yeah, it's good for... Do you know, I like the beach. The only thing I don't like is the sand and the salt water. They're the only two things about the beach I don't like. Other than that, I think it's amazing.
Yeah.
No, it's a lovely place. We've got some great beaches, actually. more than you can think, don't you, originally? Getting out and about and travelling around, and what a great time of year to be doing that sort of thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Making the most of it. Okay, brilliant. So we're going to move on, and the next one I'm going to throw at you two is what motivates you and perhaps what frustrates you. Now, I don't think I've ever seen you frustrated. I wonder if we got your mum and dads on the show, what they would say. However, they're not on this week, so it's only you two. Okay, so take the moment and talk to us. So, Claudia, talk to us about what motivates you.
The thing that motivates me is like seeing everyone like happy, because I like to see everyone happy. I don't want to see anyone sad, like especially my friends and my family. Like if my friends are sad, same with my family, I'll try to excuse me, I had a hiccup. I'll try to cheer them up and make sure that like they're not down in the dumps, and make sure like they're not trying to like get any more frustrated or sad. So I try to cheer them up, and it motivates me when everyone, especially in the school, is like happy and are having a good time.
And I was going to ask you, so in your role as head of school, is that when we're back in and we're moving a bit more freely around school, hopefully sooner rather than later, but is that in essence for you what you want to achieve, help the school to be even happier as a place to come and learn?
Yeah. Because I don't think it's good for everyone to be sad all the time, and it is good to have like sad moments like every now and then, but it is good to be happy most of the time. And
would you say school is a happy place to be?
Yeah.
Yeah, as much as it can be.
Yeah.
I mean, perhaps everybody's not running into school every morning with a great big smile on their face going, yeah, school, but as much as it can be. Yeah? Wonderful. We'll come back to frustrations in a moment. Okay, so have a good think if you haven't got any already. Diti, what motivates you?
My things that motivate me is when I have my friends and family support for anything I'm doing, and if the people I love are like happy most of the time.
Okay, so, and bringing that into sort of a school context then, in your role, as we just said with Claudia, how do you see your motivations and things? How do you want to try and get those through to the community in school?
I want to make I want children and my fellow pupils to have the best time at school they can possibly get with COVID. So I would try doing that by making the school day like more fun for them, but they're still learning.
Yeah, I think that's a big thing, isn't it? If you're in a positive mindset and you're happy and you're enjoying things, and actually the learning should kind of happen anyway, shouldn't it? Yeah? It shouldn't be, sometimes it is hard work, but hopefully majority of the time you're enjoying the little journey there. So frustrations. So Claudia's eyes are lit there. Frustrations. What's she going to come out with? Here we go. So talk to us. Do you get frustrated first of all?
Yes.
You do. Okay. And what sort of things frustrate you?
The things that frustrate me is like when I go to the beach, as I was saying, like there's a couple of litter pieces. It frustrates me that everyone is leaving litter, because when I go, there's like pails and pails of litter. There's literally everywhere you go around the beach, there's literally like a whole bowl of food left, and I've actually seen a whole bowl of pasta in like tons of metal pots and lots of plates left on the sand, and that actually really frustrates me because they're obviously too lazy to clean it up, but like if they don't, the planet's just gonna get really bad, and like it's just gonna melt away, like, and obviously no one's caring about it right now. Obviously some people are caring about it and they're trying their best, like, because when I go every single time to the beach, my whole family helps with the litter and we pick it all up and we put it in the buckets, and then we get like big bags and stuff.
And I think that's obviously a hugely powerful message there, isn't it? On a small scale that might be, but actually if everybody does a little bit and being so responsible as you guys are there, for your generation of people, we really want to try and obviously encourage that, don't we? That shared responsibility for ourselves, but obviously looking after the planet that we're on. A really, really interesting one. Thank you. Diti, what about you?
So I have two things that frustrate me.
Okay.
First of all, it's how people are taking care of this planet. I mean, guys, we live on this planet. It's our home. So why don't we try to take care of it by trying to use less cars and go out and walk about, rather than just going, like, using cars to just go from one place to another. That takes 5 minutes. and
oh, sorry, carry on.
The second
thing go.
is my sister.
Oh!
I mean, really. She barges into my room when I'm reading, and oh my god, she snatches my book.
Does she? Well, do you know, so I'm a brother, and I've got an older sister and I've got a younger brother, so I'm kind of in the middle. But I kind of think that, isn't that part of your brother or sister's job to be slightly annoying and irritating?
Yeah, my sister frustrates me sometimes, especially when she steals my Christmas sweets that I get, because she does do that.
Maybe we should get your sisters on here as well, and we should ask them the same question. That could be quite interesting, couldn't it? But yeah, joking aside, yeah, really, really important messages there that we do need to remember. And obviously, education, it's not just about what goes on in the classroom, it's about our environment and looking after it. Hugely important. Okay, so aspirations for the future is something that I would like to ask you. May have touched upon it in some of your answers before, or we might not have done. Well, we're just going to go and see where we are with this. So, Diti, I'm going to start with you. So, in the future, when you are an adult and you've left school, what are your plans? Have you got an idea of the sort of career path you want to go into? I understand that we hear, don't we, lots of jobs might not have been invented yet, but the sort of areas that you are interested in, where do you see yourself going?
So I see myself going to a good university and learning how to be an author.
Okay. You love your writing?
Yeah.
Yeah, you love your reading? Yeah. Gives you loads of ideas? Yeah. Do you remember learning to read?
Yes.
You do. And how was that? Did you find that okay? Was that quite straightforward for you?
It was at first hard.
Hard, yeah.
I couldn't even understand things. So every night I would get on my bed and get a book out and just read.
Okay.
As much as I could.
Yeah, and slowly.
Yes, and slowly I got better.
Wow, okay, so you want to be an author?
Yeah.
What do you want? Children's books? I mean, what sort of thing would you be wanting to write? Have you got an idea, or is it not quite sure on that yet?
So I have a few topics.
Okay, of course.
So I've got ideas of what to write about. I have this story which is about 7 cursed objects, and 3 men dig them up.
Okay.
And
you got a plan already?
They become cursed.
Okay, you got a plan already?
Yeah.
Oh, I'll tell you what, we need to be looking out for that in the future. Wonderful. So, Claudia, what about you? Have you got aspirations for the future? Have you got ideas of sort of areas you want to go into?
Yeah, I would actually like to be an architect, as I've mentioned, because I like to draw. And I've actually been drawing for as soon as I was born. Whenever I saw a pencil, I would just draw something.
Okay.
And I would make quite a mess.
Right.
Especially when I was younger. But I would like to be an architect or a lawyer because I don't know why, I just think being a lawyer would be quite fun. My sister would also like to be a lawyer.
Okay.
But if not, I would be an architect, or it would be vice versa.
Right.
If not that, then it would be the other. But my main job that I would like is to be an architect and design houses, because I've always been into designing stuff. But I would also want to be an interior designer, so maybe just an interior designer and an architect mixed together, so I could do both.
Sounds great, and I tell you what, great professions to want to aspire to. Obviously, a lot of hard work between now and then, but I'm sure everybody at home is beginning to realise that you two understand what hard work is, and as you've a great example there, shown what persevering with something is and how you can improve on it. So what we're going to do, girls, thank you very much. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to have a drink of water, and then we'll come back to it with a few more questions. Sound all right?
Yeah.
Brilliant. So join us again in a couple of moments' time. Thanks, everyone. So welcome back. We've wet our whistles, as we say, but a quick sip of water. And we're going to finish off with one final question to Claudia and Diti. I know they're incredibly busy, so we want to keep them too long. But this one feels quite topical and quite interesting, I'm sure, from our own perspective on how lockdown has gone. And that's really what I want to talk to you about, and that's what the question's based around. So how have you found lockdown, and how did you cope with it? I know we're moving out of it, we're still a little bit there with the blended learning, but Diti, can you just sort of share a little bit of insight into your personal journey with that, and how you're kind of feeling now, and maybe lessons you've learned from it?
So obviously lockdown, I mean, yeah, we had to stay at home, so obviously being trapped inside those walls and not being able to go out is a bit frustrating. So yeah, I've had a lot of spare time though in that, because I used to finish my work and I was free because I didn't have to do much of the stuff. So that was actually a good time, because I was able to do the stuff I couldn't do because in like the normal days of school, because I was too busy with something or another, like homework or anything. So yeah, so I've also liked lockdown and or also hated it.
So you felt that it actually gave you more time focused on your work, and that was quite intense and full on for the period of time, but then it allowed you, once that had happened, to do other things, albeit in the house, that perhaps you wouldn't have had time before. So you I suppose it's a mindset thing, isn't it? You saw that as an opportunity rather than a huge frustration. At times, I'm sure, like we all got frustrated with the situation. Okay, interesting. What about yourself, Claudia?
Well, at the start, when we started doing it in year 5, I was so stressed. Like, I'm being honest, like here, like I thought it put my learning a bit down, because it was actually making me really stressed, and I was actually finishing later on in the day, like later than we should be finishing. Yeah. And it was making me like, I thought since we were doing the online learning, and like our eyesight is going to be bad, but I also thought that it was making my learning go down a bit, because we don't have proper teaching. We only had, well, we started doing the Zoom calls a bit more to the end of the like the third term. Yeah. So I think that helped, but it still made me a bit like confused with all this stuff. And like it's gotten better with like especially the blended learning with the blended learning, because like we actually have like a full lesson of the day, like 4 lessons a day with like a teacher, and the day's not as long, but it still helps a lot, and it actually helps me keep a lot more in track than just half an hour a day on a Zoom call. So that's my opinion.
Thank you very much. 2 very different experiences, I guess, but very relatable, because I can relate to certainly what you were saying as well as you, Diti. You can't beat face to face, can you? And I guess the interaction as well you've got with your classmates will be sat in your seats at the moment, and it's not quite the same. What lesson did you learn from it about yourself, really? What sort of something that you were proud of looking back on it? I know we're not quite at the end of it. Hopefully that's coming soon. But what would you say you were proud of coming through lockdown?
I was proud of like being able to stay in like a certain restricted area for such a long amount of time. I mean, it gets frustrating.
Yeah.
Like when you see the same old faces and walls every single day.
Yeah. But I guess you've got to be focused, haven't you, on that, and hopefully that's going to then come to the end. What about you, Claudia?
Like I'm the same as Diti. Like it got really boring, and I was proud that like I got through it because it was really, really boring, and I had nothing to do in my spare time except go on my laptop. So it was actually making my eyesight really worse, and I got a really bad prescription at the end of July. So I had to get stronger glasses,
Right.
and I've already had a bad prescription since I was like 2. But I think that really affected it. And also I'm proud that I didn't get into many big like arguments with my family, because obviously we saw each other and we will get mad at each other every now and then.
Yeah, like everybody, and I guess intense for everyone, isn't it? And people feeling the same sort of things. Thank you, girls. Really, really thought-provoking and interesting as well. I hope you enjoyed answering the questions and maybe spending a bit of time thinking through them too, and reflecting on them, and realise actually you've learnt a lot about yourselves over the last challenging few months. I hope for everybody who's listening, you enjoyed that. The whole point of this is to share a little bit about our community with you guys at home whilst we are still on this slightly restricted approach to school. Something we hope obviously we can work through and get everybody back into our community before too long. So thanks very much for listening. We hope you enjoyed our first ever show. Girls, relieved we've got through it? Yeah, nodding. You can't nod when you have to say yes or no. Relieved you got through it? Great. Looking forward to the next one?
Yes.
Brilliant. So are we. So we look forward to speaking with you soon. Take care, everybody. What do we say? Bye.
Bye.
So that's it. Our first ever episode of the Prefect Pod. Thank you for listening, and special thanks to Claudia and Diti for sharing their thoughts and their views and answering so many of those questions really, really thoroughly. A thank you also to Mr. Sawa for his support with setting up and recording this podcast. And finally, a thank you to you, to all our community, not only for sending in some great questions as we've had, but also for your listening and supporting our great school. Made in Sherborne, made for life. We really want this show to be your show. So if you've got any ideas or topics that you feel our community would like to hear discussed, then please do get in touch. So until next time, take care. Bye-bye.